All right, so we are back to uh, installing Rails. This should be the final step. Well, we still have Node and NPM we have to install after this. But at least to get Ruby up and running and we can test that out, we can follow this last step. So all we got to do is gem install Rails and wait. Okay, dope. That should have taken about an hour. All right, so now that we have Rails installed, you are going to want to fork or clone, I should say, one of your Rails apps so we could test this out. So this is my mod 2 project that Sydney and I did. That's why I was asking for her GitHub. So we're going to copy this. And because we did all that Git stuff earlier, all we got to do is GCL. Oh, actually, I can do GCL because I don't have that in my bash profile. Hold on. So it's git clone that right there. It's going to ask you if we're sure that we trust that connection. This is a brand new SSH connection between or SHA, whatever, RSA, GitHub, and this machine. So that shouldn't ask you that again. And now in this directory, you should see that we have trip itinerary app. Actually, I'm going to remove that though. And I'm going to create a new directory called projects. And then I'm going to cd into that. And from here, I'm going to git clone, bam. So now we're going to cd into trip itinerary. And we're going to do LA. Let's take a look at what we have in here. So we've got a gem file and a gem file.lock. All right, so we're going to remove the gem file.lock. And then we're going to bundle install and let this thing do its job. And I'll be right back after this is done. Okay, so it is installed and good to go, at least for our project. Okay, I tried doing Rails S and there's a bunch of gems that are missing apparently, even though we did a bundle install. So I'm gonna troubleshoot this. I'm gonna go back and see what needs to be installed. And after this, our server and our app should pretty much be up and running. So if you run into these issues, just kind of look at what the gems are and start writing them out because we're probably gonna have to download them manually. But let me do some research and we'll see how to fix this error. Okay, it does appear that I will have to install Node in order for the first gem to work, which is exec.js. So we're gonna go back to this little deal here and we're gonna start working with Node. All right, so we are just gonna copy pasta, this right here. And we're gonna paste this in. Now this is gonna take a while also, kind of like Ruby and Rails. So just keep that in mind. And I'm back. Okay, now we are going to just run these right here. And this is gonna hook up our bash profile. Copy pasta. And now this will refresh our bash profile. Then you want to do nvm and this will take a while again, so I will be back. Okay, so now we're gonna these last steps here. All right, let's try this one more time and see what happens when we do Rails S. Okay, so now the server is up and running on port 3000. So if we go here and we go to yoanante.com, port 3000. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's exit out of here and Rails DB migrate. All right, the migration is complete. Let's see if we have any other errors. Connection refused. yoanante.com refused to connect. Oh, I didn't start the server. And the server's up and running. Let's see what other kind of errors we get. There we go. Mod 2 project, TravelPal, log in. Woo! All right, guys, so that is pretty much it. If you're gonna have multiple apps running, you're gonna have to run them up on different ports. So you could do port 3001 for another Rails server, and then 3002 for the app that uses that Rails server. You're gonna have to change that stuff in your source code also. To make sure that you're pointing to the new correct server instead of localhost whatever, or it could be localhost, but just make sure that you use, it will be localhost since it'll still be on the same machine, but just make sure you use the right ports when you go up here. You could also later create routes. So instead of like having issuing the ports here, you could do something like, this would be TravelPal, and then I could have another one for another app. That will be whatever my other app was, Dispatchio. And then what this does is you have to create a configuration file that just when somebody hits this route, the server knows to render port, whatever port number it is. And I'll go into those videos later, but for now, you should at least be able to get your Mod 2 project up and running. And it shouldn't be too much of a stretch to figure out how to get your the rest of your projects up and running. So that's pretty much it, guys. Best of luck. And if you have any questions, Slack me. Oh, and one more thing. Remember, we're running a development server here. We're not doing a production server. That I have no idea how to do yet. So I will research that. That'll probably be for sometime next week. Migrate all these apps to production instead of doing a regular builds. I know like the Create React app has a npm build instead of npm start, and that might be better because it I think it compresses all your code, so your app might be a little quicker. So that's it, guys. Good luck. Hopefully this works for you.